Welcome to Conversations with a Stranger, a podcast where I get up close and personal with people from all corners of the world. On each episode, my guests will share their stories, experiences, and perspectives that will give us an inside look in their lives. So come along on this journey as we explore the world through these incredible conversations. Okay, so normally I do these, like I said, on Omegle or Omegle. And the first question would be like, what brought you to Omegle? So obviously we can't lead with that one. What kind of hobbies and interests do you have? What are you into?
I like riding. I like anything outdoors, hiking, video games, television.
And in the winter, like, what are you usually doing with your time? Playing video games?
The winter, I like to stay inside because I got into a bad car accident in 2018 and the cold affects my back.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, are you an American?
An American?
Yeah, are you from America?
Oh, yes. I'm
Yes,
from California.
Okay. And do you like it there?
I like the hills and the mountains. I don't like the prices.
Do you like the location where you're at currently, or would you rather be somewhere else?
Right now I am living in Jacksonville. I've been living in Florida for about 5 years now.
And do you prefer it to California?
Yeah, a lot more.
Cool. It's Jacksonville's right in the northern part. Would you rather be a little more south, or do you like it like where you're at in Florida?
I would much rather some more hills, but I do like the warmer weather.
Yeah, cool. And what brought you there?
I was adopted. I came here to meet my birth mother.
Okay, cool. And how'd that go, you guys? Did it go good?
Yeah, we get along great. She's the only one out of my family I talk to because she's not a whole lot of drama. But other than that, kind of disowned my other family members. They were just too much. But my mom and I get along.
Cool. I mean, it can go like one of two ways, you know, and I didn't know if it was a good, like... Or if it was like, oh god, I hate her, you know, it was terrible.
No, she's great. She gets on my nerves, but she's a good woman.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, I just have like a few more questions, and it's like deeper stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, what has helped you get through a tough time in your life?
That has to be my writing. I didn't really have a voice when I was younger, so I wrote everything on paper, from poems to song lyrics to stories, and just kind of expressing myself helped me out a lot as a kid, and now even more as an adult.
So when you say you didn't have a voice, do you mean like you felt invisible, or you didn't have an identity?
Both.
Okay. And as you've gotten older, you think you've found that and are much happier with who you are?
I still struggle with my identity. I don't really... I have an idea of who I am, an idea of who I want to be, but I don't think I've fully found myself yet.
I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I am 29.
Okay, so you're young still, and you've got plenty of life ahead of you, you know, God willing.
Yeah.
I think it's normal for people in their 20s to kind of struggle with identity.
Yeah, I just thought it would be a little sooner, I guess. I've always thought age is just a number. Like, you turn 20, you have your shit figured out, but it's not that way.
Right. So next question here. What are your core values and why are they important to you?
My core values: loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
people who are genuine, and I guess creative. I guess loyalty first, because if you can't be loyal, what can you be?
Right.
Genuine. I don't care how weird you are. I don't care how quirky you are. I don't care who you are. Just be yourself. I don't want you to pretend to be anybody else. And as for creative, I like to match my energy with other energies. And if you don't see, if you can't try to see the world the way I see it, it's really hard to get to know me.
Right. I couldn't remember what you had said as growing up. Did you have a lot of friends, or at least a little close knit group?
I had it. Yeah, I had a squad that I hung out with, but
Okay, that's good.
I was really bad at making friends. It was kind of they put me in a group project and I made friends with people, or I was forced into relationships to get to know people.
Okay.
So,
And that's for the good sometimes, right? You would think you probably should be doing that. You can't do it, but it's good to be out there, meeting people and having friends.
oh yeah, because you have to. If you don't learn social skills as a child, it's really hard to integrate yourself into life as an adult.
Yeah, and I think with this day and age, it's harder to meet real friends because everyone's got their people already, on top of being so busy all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I have some friends like that, where I've met my friend Michael in high school, 9th grade. He's the only friend I've kept in touch with out of high school, and all my other friends, I get it. They have kids, they have lives, they have jobs, and life just gets in the way. You just have to understand that.
Yeah, it's not like it was, where you guys actually had time to hang out all the time. People do get families and things like that, and their time is limited.
Mm-hmm.
What have been your biggest lessons in life so far?
My biggest lessons in life may have had to been, I guess, my past relationships, to be shown that not everyone is going to be a decent person, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner life isn't going to be so hard. That not everything's hunky-dory. You really have to see the world from a positive side of you, but also a negative side, so you can understand both sides.
So how do you approach relationships now, and not just romantically, but in general? If you are expecting some people to not be, genuine or good people, are you cautious, or do you just wait for that to happen? How are you approaching relationships?
Depends on the person. I am a very cautious person. I don't
would you say you can read vibes pretty well, and that's what you're going off of, is if they seem decent, then you're going to give them a chance?
Yeah, I can tell when someone's being fake with me. I can tell when someone just wants to be with me for the money, or for the luxuries that I have. I can tell.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's difficult because I don't know, man. It's just,
people are good at what they do. If you're a liar, you're probably going to be good at it, and it's hard to see through that shit sometimes.
Oh yeah, man. That's totally true. And it's different for me a little bit, because I don't deal with, I guess normal is a broad term. I'm gay.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are gay, and people put this thing out there that gays are shifty. They want something for something, and sometimes
Right.
that's true, sometimes that's not true. But I've learned to keep my distance from certain people.
One thing I've learned about that community and culture is y'all are whores.
Yeah.
You're the horniest people I know.
Oh yeah, we're two men.
Yeah, for sure. So, do you have any advice you'd give your younger self?
I got this question asked a couple days ago. I did my friend's documentary, and in my exact words were, I would tell myself to slow down, because I was decent growing up. Didn't have my first kiss and didn't have sex for the first time till I was 19 years old. I saved myself, but as soon as I hit 20, I got a taste, and it was go for me. I did not. I went too fast. I didn't slow down, and I met people, fell in love, heartbroken, met someone else, fell in love, heartbroken, and the same cycle repeated itself. And I would just tell myself to slow down and think about what I want instead of what other people want me to be.
Would you say once you got a taste of the sexual side of things, it became an addiction, or did it not get that bad for you?
It became an addiction. It was probably worse than drugs.
Yeah, it can be for sure. So, how do you define success for yourself? What does that look like?
Success is happiness. Success is doing something you love without being told to do it. I don't think success is money, because once you die, you can't take that money with you.
Right.
But if you finish a book or something big, write a memoir, make a big staple on the world, when you go, those words, those pages are still out there.
What does that impact look like to you if everything fell into place? Like, what kind of impact, or what would you want to do for the world?
I want to create powerful words, to create imagery, to give other people like me, kids I guess, growing up, a different world to go to when things get hard, to have a place to escape to when your parents fight, or your brother picks on you, or you're called names, or you're bullied. I want to give people an escape, like a place to go to.
What kind of writing do you do? Is it mostly fiction, nonfiction?
A lot of fiction, because I don't like writing about real people and real things. I feel pressured. Like, if I write about New York City, I feel like I have to know about the streets and the buildings, the people who live there. I like to create my own characters, my own worlds, my own names.
Do you have a specific genre that you're partial to?
I am really partial to LGBTQ, only because that's where I'm from, and I love horror. Like, I love anything horror, but
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, so the LGBTQ, obviously, that's not really a genre as far as horror, fantasy, or comedy. So yeah, what I was talking about.
I would say a young
Well, are you
adult.
writing spicy stuff too?
I tried that. I don't have the tongue for it.
Okay. Okay.
I
was it awkward for you to write like that?
No, it was just you have to be in a certain mindset, a certain mood to write like that, and it's just not my cup of tea. I tried it. It was fun. It didn't get very far, and I'm like, yeah.
Maybe 9 years ago, huh?
yeah, basically.
Chronicling that wild ride probably would have been a pretty good book.
Right?
So do you have a bucket list?
I don't have a bucket list, man. I like to live a little day by day, hour
Mhm.
by hour. I don't really. I have long term goals and short term goals, but I don't really have a bucket list because I'm very OCD about lists. When I create lists, I have to get that list done at all costs.
Yeah. So like, say money wasn't an option. Name a location you'd want to visit before you died, and maybe an activity.
If money wasn't an option, I would want to go to Ireland.
Ireland, good
Mhm.
choice.
And I don't know what I do in Ireland. I don't know what there's to do in Ireland. Um, but
Just see how beautiful it is.
yeah, or go to I think it's Alaska, one of them northern places, and see the aurora lights.
Oh yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah. I really want to see those before I die. That's definitely a bucket list. The lights.
Or go to Asia and ride an elephant. That'd be interesting. That,
Yeah, those are all really, really good. Like, because it's a location, but also you kind of know what activity you want to do.
hmm
That's really cool. So the last question I have for you before I go is, what advice would you offer someone going through a difficult period right now?
Um, based on how I am now, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Uh, don't react in anger. Don't react in sadness. It's better to keep quiet and calm until you can think clearly. And as soon as you can think clearly, you can make more rational decisions.
Was there something that happened that allowed you to be more emotional intelligent? Like, you say that's not how you were and who you are now, that's your answer. How did that change happen?
A lot of failures, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of drama with my family, a lot of poor decisions I made in emotional mindsets that only hurt me in the long run.
And did it just get to the point where you were like, enough is enough? Or did a certain event kind of like wake you up?
It got to the point where I was just hurting myself, and I was I was just tired of feeling sad and bad for
Yeah,
myself. So he, I had to change something.
right. It's awesome that you did make that change. I'm glad that I'm talking to someone who seems a little happier than they probably were before. And you kind of got it figured out as far as your emotions, because that was a really great answer.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it, man. I do appreciate your time.
All right, man, no
Thank you.
problem.
You have a great night, okay?
All right, man, you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This was another episode of Conversations with a Stranger. I do hope you consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment letting me know what you think. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have an amazing day.